Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dustin Perry from Ghost Hunters and Ghost Hunters International, and you are tuned into the Paranormal Zone.
Look, I know the supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen. It does happen. A ghostly apparition in the dark of night.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
So, Patrick, I have a question for you.
Yes, I cannot wait for said question.
On this Saturday evening that we are recording this extremely successful podcast.
What? What?
So anyway,
By the way,
okay,
before you ask me,
Yeah.
I'm going to interrupt you.
You
I
can.
had to laugh to myself because I heard my stepson in his bedroom earlier today.
Oh boy! Sorry,
He was playing his video games and stuff. Hey, by the way, state champion in esports.
Yes.
My goodness gracious, that was pretty cool. No, but
Absolutely fabulous.
I heard him actually ask this question. Alexa, what day is it?
Yeah. Well, you get wrapped up in things and lose track.
It's like, you were just at school yesterday. I mean, what day do you think it is? I just got kind of a giggle. Anyways, go ahead.
Yes. This is something I've pondered amongst myself about you. Okay, so
Did you just say amongst yourself?
yes, I did, amongst myself.
Okay. So there's multiple yous over there.
No, yeah, there probably is.
Okay.
Need to see a counselor on that one.
That might explain some of your paranormal activity that goes on over there.
Yeah. So
That's
we
one-
all know
That's one of Mike's stray personalities that's deciding to, play some pranks on him. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll stop interrupting. I promise.
No, that's okay. I mean, it's not a huge question, but okay, everybody knows, all the listeners and the longtime listeners.
Yes, the long time dingy bell. Yes.
That's the new dingy bell. But anyway, we all know that you are of Catholic faith.
Well, I was raised a Catholic. Yes.
Yes.
You are correct, sir.
Yes. So Catholicism is deep within your soul.
That I would agree with 100%. There is a phrase out there called Catholic guilt that is 195% true. It is a real thing. I am evidence. So,
But does that make you go through life feeling guilty about everything?
well, not everything, but a good portion of it.
Uh,
But does that have something to do with your question? I'm excited
well,
here.
it does. You being such a strong bred Catholic, if
I've got the very large blue crucifix necklace.
yes, you do. It's very nice.
Yes, I've got received several compliments on this.
Yes,
necklace.
very good.
Yeah.
Let me ask my question.
I know. I promise I
You're
won't
making-
interrupt you anymore.
You're making me forget my question.
Okay, I won't interrupt you
Dang it!
anymore.
Now I got to read my notes again.
Okay, do you need me to interrupt you now to save you from?
Anyway.
Okay.
Okay, so if you were not Catholic, now this hypothetical question, if you were raised, say, Lutheran or, well, any other religion,
Sure.
or no religion at all,
Right.
would you still have the great fear and the huge belief in demons and demonic possession and the exorcisms that are needed to exorcise these said demons.
I like how you said that. Exercise. Well, you emphasized the
Yes.
third syllable there. That was pretty cool. That's a great question, Mike, and I will be totally forthright, truthful here.
Yes, I know you will.
I don't think I would be. I think being raised Catholic has utterly affected the way I perceive the possible existence of demonic entities and energies and any number of things. Are you muted? Did you say something there?
No, I was going to say, you said the possible. Now, does that mean that you believe that they possibly exist, or do you
I believe
they exist?
Well, okay, just for the sake of being a pragmatic podcast, I'm throwing I'm throwing out that that word, that you just stated. The possibility. Yes. Is it possible?
Right.
Just to be, like I said, pragmatic. Yes, I think it is possible, because we don't want to. We don't want to come across as being, yes, there are demons, and you are a fool to believe against such thing.
Well, we would never do that.
Tisk, tisk, stop listening at this very moment, you closed-minded fool. No, we're the total opposite of that. So that's why I threw out that word possible. But I am a believer. Yes.
Yes.
I am.
Do primarily on your Catholic belief.
I think. Well, that's where it started. We'll put it
started,
that.
right?
We'll put it that way, and it's it's something.
That's where the man with the very tall hat got into your being and
a very
soul.
tall hat. Yeah. Something got into my.
I don't know.
soul.
I've never been Catholic. I've been out many other religions, but I've never been Catholic.
Oh, that was a Pope reference.
I don't know.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Okay, I was thinking like Abraham Lincoln for some reason.
There you go. Well,
Yeah.
we could talk about Abe Lincoln too, but did he believe in demons, do you think?
He believed
had
in
his
ghosts.
own demons.
He believed in ghosts for
Oh,
sure,
yes,
man.
he did. He had his own demons.
Oh
That's
gosh, that's putting it mildly. Yeah.
yes, very.
He was
yes.
he was a very sad man. He was.
He was. Yes.
Especially
it
after
showed in his face, in his
face.
photographs, and
When
his aging that he went through, and yeah.
Well, and the family deaths,
yes.
totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
How
And
could
the
they not?
dreams of his own death.
He was a haunted individual, man.
Yes, and rather homely as well.
Hey, well, okay, come on now. Yeah, we all know, so you don't have to say it. I mean, come on. I mean, you're talking about the 16th president of the United States. Highly regarded as possibly the greatest president ever, and you're just calling him you're just calling him an ugly SOB. That's what you just said.
No, you're putting words into my mouth.
Well, no.
I even have a Abraham Lincoln T-shirt that I love to wear.
Is that the one with the boombox, or is that the Sasquatch one?
It is.
Okay.
It's the boom box and says "Drop beats, not bombs."
Yes. Abe Lincoln
I love that shirt.
still the tallest president ever at 6'4". It's hard to believe.
Wow.
Hard to believe. So, if you couldn't guess it already, the focus of this episode, if we can call the focus, is demons. The title of the episode is going to be Demons Among Us. And yes, to all those longtime listeners who may be a bit prickly about this topic, yes, we did supposedly put the kibosh on talking about demons. Yes, we did put the lid over this topic. Yes, we did put it to rest. Well, apparently we lied, because we're talking about it again.
You lied. I didn't say a word about it.
Well, it was part of our terminal series, Mike, because that's kind of the spiel about the terminal episodes, is that it's kind of a little more laid back, loose conversation, but we get the gist of it out there, and then we give our final yay or nay, no shades of gray, and then we say, we're done. We're done with that topic. We're not going back to it. But I don't really like that idea anymore. I don't like that idea.
We're taking a different spin on it this time, a little bit.
Definitely.
And I'm not going to say right now at the beginning of the episode, but I have some epiphanies about demons and some thoughts.
And may I say that this was actually Mike's idea. And I was happy because we had this planned 2 days in advance, which is like a record for us.
That's like as good as planning a year ahead for us.
And I also have to say too, I when Mike sent me that text, when he says, "Well, I have epiphanies, really bad epiphanies." The way I read that, I thought it was like some weird disease that you were just diagnosed with.
Well, add it to the list.
And then I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. He's writing epiphanies in the plural. I get it. I thought it was like, I don't know, some odd, exotic new rash.
My earlobes are rotting and falling off. It's called an epiphanies.
I got really bad epiphanies. Bad, horrible, itchy epiphanies.
And it makes my mouth water, and I don't like it. Anyway, I don't know why I said that, but that's the first thing that came to mind. So, yes, today's, this afternoon's, this morning's, whatever time you're listening to this, that is the meat of the episode.
Oh, yes, the meat for sure. It sounded like you said the mute for a second.
It's
okay. I understand. But we are sticking to the new format of the show because that is something we are pretty excited about. Again, at the risk of repeating ourselves, we're still going to be focusing on all things paranormal, strange, and mysterious. Without a doubt, that's our passion, but we're kind of changing it up a little bit. We're having a little bit more. It's going to be a little bit more segment/bit oriented, revolving around said topic. And today's topic is demons among us. Mike, what does that mean? We don't know. We're going to find out as we go along. But
it's also going to be a bit more fun. A little lighter.
Yeah.
Because actually, Patrick has physically done what he should have done years ago. He pulled the big stick out of his ass.
Oh, come on now.
And now we're going to have fun.
Yeah, I've actually been making a career as one of Jeff Dunham's puppets. That's a little-known secret. That said stick was operated by Jeff Dunham, and I'm glad that
a trigger on there that makes your mouth move.
Yeah, I think he had what do you have, like Pepe on a stick or something like that? He had
Peanut and Pepe and Pepe.
Well, he also had Pat. He also had Pat on a stick, and
Patrick on a stick.
I'm glad that is no longer part of my my living. And
I'm in batter and deep fry him, and you got deep fried Patrick.
Now that doesn't sound very tasty at all.
Could you imagine that, handing that out of a food truck window?
Well,
there's your Patrick on a stick.
Well, I think people like sounds like something Ed Gein would offer, Yeah. Oh man, any hoozle.
Yeah. Anyway, boy, you were possessed by a big stick.
Maybe that should be the episode image. Maybe I'll put together some sort of artwork of me straddling the giant stick uncomfortably.
Well, more than straddling.
Yeah. Ooh, oh man.
All right, that's enough of that.
Isn't that the name?
That's enough of that.
Isn't that the name of one of those old medieval torture devices? Wasn't it called like the Iron Horse? Where people were forced.
Like a spike that they were set on and. It widened as it went down to the bottom.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, they had you want to talk about straddling, they had to straddle that sharp-edged iron horse, and they had weights put on their feet. And
to slowly drag them down.
Man. Okay, anyways.
Anyway.
Sorry about that.
Again, that's enough of that.
Well, believe it or not, we do get new listeners from time to time. If you've hung around for these 13 minutes or so and you're new to the show, thank you so much. This is your weekly dose of all things, hell, you guessed it, paranormal, strange, and mysterious. My name is Patrick Kaufberg, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host with the ghosts, the paranormal poster boy himself. Man, I didn't even think of anything to describe you as. Well, what's popping into my brain? The man I envision struggling mightily while strangling slowly to death amongst his own microphone cords.
Yes.
He was talking about that earlier. That would be a vicious, horrible way to die.
Well,
there's the iron horse, and then there's the choking mic. I'm not sure.
The power cord, the cord to the mic, the computer power cord. It was like it was everywhere.
And you only have one functioning
deal with
arm, and so
Yes.
and Mary's of no help. She's useless, and you could tell her I said that
She's on the other side of my wall.
for good reason.
Yeah.
I love you, Mary. I know she can't hear us, but
Yeah.
or hear me, but that must be something for her to hear your one-sided conversation for
I know. I think of that.
a couple hours
You
a
know,
night.
I feel like getting one of those things where you can, plug in and then you can put 2 sets of headphones plugged in so she could listen. But,
Yeah, why not? Yeah, they're like adapter. What are they called?
yeah, I got one somewhere
adapter
even.
cords, but Y cords, I think is what they're called. Y cords.
Yeah, I just need another set of headphones.
Yeah, and well, that's the last thing you need to worry about.
Exactly.
But Mike, it is good to see you. As you said, it is Saturday evening, March 9th, 2024. We hope everyone is doing well, taking care of yourselves, and sincerely thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of the Paranormally Zone. To get the unnecessary, or well, not unnecessary, get the unavoidable, evil, necessary, I meant to say, evils. Self-promotion, I hate doing it, but starting next month, we mentioned it last week, we are going to be cutting the number of flagship episodes of the Paranormally Zone down from 4, well, we always try to get at least 4 out a month, down to 2. The other open weeks are going to be devoted to Patreon exclusive content, new Patreon exclusive episodes. Number 68 was published a week or so ago. Yeah, almost 70 exclusive episodes. If you love this stuff right now, my God, there's even more of this crap available over at the Patreon page, including tons of other cool, fun stuff. Even Mike and I, our rambunctious, wild rantings and videos and audio clips from our own ghost hunting adventures, including our trip to the Sally House, which, by the way, Mike, we are making a return to this summer.
Absolutely.
I'm sincerely excited about that.
Yes, you are. I have read that in your text messages that you're excited. I can feel it.
Yeah, well, 100%, because it's going to be. We're going to do such a better job this time. And did you ever reply to me about doing it on a Sunday night? Works for you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I can't wait, and it's going to be it's going to be a repeat of what we did before, but times 100 as far as for the better. We'll be so much more prepared. We'll have working equipment. I have new equipment. I mean, it's going to be sweet. We're going to do it, Mike. I'm looking forward to it. So
absolutely. You know what we need to do? We need to when we actually go to try to sleep for the evening or the night later on.
Yeah.
Get a couple hours of shut eye. One of us should be posted in the Sally room, and one of us should be posted in the other one that has all the activity that happens.
I like that idea.
With stuff going and
yeah, because I don't. We were too. I don't want to say nervous. We were too worried about leaving any sort of like physical evidence that we had been there.
Yeah, like don't sleep on the beds.
Yes, don't even sit on the beds. Don't ruffle any proverbial feathers. And then I watched video from Nick Groff, and he's under the covers sleeping in the damn bed upstairs.
Well, but that's Nick Groff. I mean, that's
I know.
That's you and I,
and we apparently the strength of a 3-foot long string is enough to keep us from going down into the basement.
Yeah,
I think we
with a badly written note. Do not enter.
Oh God, dang it, Mike! We can't enter. Do you see the note? Do you see the string? We cannot enter.
It looked like Sally wrote it with a crayon or something.
Oh man!
But yes, it's going to be great, and you're going to come here the night before.
Yes, absolutely.
So you don't have that long drive to make here.
Yes,
and then we leave for another long drive.
But it's going to be so much better. In hindsight, and even then, I'm sure you could tell when we were there that day, I was just exhausted the whole time.
We were, yeah.
And you were too and stuff, but no sleep at all the night before. It's going to be different. So I'll head on over to Enderlin, spend the night there, and we'll both wake up ready to go, rip-roaring, ready to go, revived, and hitting the road. Looking forward to it.
Oh man, looking forward to it a lot.
So Mike, tell me why this topic popped into your brain this week.
I think because basically of the epiphanies that I have had.
That damn rash again. Good Lord.
Epiphanies plural. I feel like it's just been just a mass landslide of epiphany.
Well, share some of these epiphanies. What do you mean by that?
Okay,
were
so
you sitting there like, were you pondering on it, or is it something that just kind of like jumped into your brain just out of nowhere?
It kind of worked its way in.
Okay,
I'll put it that way.
slithered its way into your brain stem.
So we're obviously starting the actual episode now. The meat.
We've been recording for 20 minutes. Okay, time to start.
Well, what did Angela Dawn say about the last one? You rambled for 30 minutes before you started talking, but she said she loved it.
Yeah. So I mean, we appreciate the feedback. We want.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, when she did say that, though, it was kind of like with the wink towards us and stuff. Because
a little winky dinky.
Yeah. Oh no! It wasn't that we finally started on the topic. She was jokingly saying all we were talking about was like male genitalia. It seemed like.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we apologize for that.
I hope we didn't really upset. Who was it that said that? Too many penis jokes or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But to him, I apologize.
Yeah, it's all Mike's fault.
I'm sorry. I can't remember who it was. I can't keep anything straight.
It's okay. Well, Mike, don't break down. Don't get emotional.
I know, but when it's gotten to the point where when I have to poop, I stand up. If I have to pee, I sit down. I cannot get things straight.
You can. That's a big one. Now, that's something I would mention to your doctor.
Do not. I suggest this to everyone listening.
You didn't get to the topic, by the way, but that's okay.
Do not poop while you're standing. It does not work.
Well, does it matter if you're butt ass naked? Does that matter?
Well, I always take all my clothes off when I poop anyway. Doesn't everybody do that?
Okay. Back to your epiphanies.
But I'm kidding about all that. I am a normal peer and a normal pooper.
But now I'm traumatized with that vision. So thank you. Okay, but Mike, get
you
back
should
to
see when I get diarrhea.
Oh my Lord! Can you please work with me?
Anyway,
so back to your epiphanies, please. Let's get going.
Yeah, I'm making it sound like it's a big deal, but it is. This is a huge one, extremely huge. We've talked about demons so many times over the years.
I know,
and it's always been. Demons just, I just can't wrap my whole thought around it.
It's always been a struggle for you to really kind of grasp that as a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And you have always been so graciously patient with that. And which I appreciate. Patient.
That's something I'm not told very
often. I've always respected your great belief in the demonic realm and possessions and
can I ask
exorcisms.
Can I ask you a question? Are you stalling? Do you not have an answer?
No, I'm just leading up to it. And
okay.
Babbling and rambling, and I apologize for that.
Okay.
But anyway.
Epiphanies.
Michael John Carbno, have come to the epiphany.
He's stalling, everybody. Trust me.
That there are demons and they are real.
Okay, so why? That's what the epiphany means. Like, what type of epiphany popped into your brain? I mean, you've slowly been coming along. We've talked about this quite a bit, like you said.
I have
over the years, and I'm repeating what you said now. You're not a closed-minded guy. You just aren't. You're always
no.
You have your strong opinions, of course you do. You have your strong beliefs, of course you do, and that's awesome. But when it comes to demons, or when it came to demons, you're like, I don't really buy into it that much. And now you're getting closer and closer. It's been a slow process, boys and girls. But Mike's to the point now. He had a revelation of sorts, and now you're a believer, you say. So,
yes.
Can you elaborate on that just a wee little bit?
Well, I just have the. It's hard. I don't totally know, and that I don't know if that makes it less of an epiphany or not. But from what I my thinking, my thought process, my thought of the religious part of the whole thing, and
The undertones, religious undertones.
and right, and the fact that we, as a complete species of animals that we are, we have the good and the evil. There is that. I mean, there is that. There's that balance. There's that yin and yang and yang and yin and yin yang and all that stuff. And
There's multiple apparently.
it's all in that, you know. It's all part of the I don't know. It's all part of everything.
So
Okay.
what popped in my brain there, and again, I apologize for jumping all over you were
Well, I wasn't saying anything
you
anyway.
were getting your stream of conscious verbalized, sort of.
Yes.
And then I broke your stream of consciousness a bit, and I apologize for that. What popped in my brain, Mike, was, so you don't think that there are evil, quote unquote, animals out there? Like, you look at a bear, is that a possessed evil bear? You think that perhaps maybe humans are the only ones capable?
No,
of being
you know,
evil.
that's a whole other subject right there. I
Yeah,
mean,
it is, kinda.
we can get into native spirituality with that. We can get into the fact of, you know, of a demon that is like an elemental that has never lived a life, that is just, you know, existing.
Yeah.
It seeks out a living creature to inhabit, like it's a parasite.
Yeah.
So maybe
But that animal itself wasn't, born as an evil entity. It was
exactly
turned into one by, like you said, as example, maybe like an elemental or what have you, whatever energy, maybe
whatever it could
overtaking
be.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
you know.
So are you going with kind of just a gut feeling right now, personally, as far as demons being real to you? Is it a gut feeling, or is that simplifying it too much?
That's simplifying it too much. It is. I can't even explain the whole thing at this point, except that, you know, I like to use the phrase. Well, Mary and I both say everything we do, everything we experience, everything that's good and everything that's evil, everything that's, you know, the balance. It's all in the circle of life. I mean, and I'm not talking, you know, like, you know, what that Disney movie with the Lion King, whatever, the circle of life. But anyway,
That Disney movie with the Lion King.
yeah, you know what I mean. But anyway,
I think I do. Yeah.
we all exist in that circle of life, and I believe that demons are part of that. The evil, the bad part that has
I
to
see.
balance out the good.
Okay, gotcha. That's okay. Thank you for clarifying that. I totally can picture that now. How the way your mind is kind of working around that, and I agree with you. It's just it's part of it's a part of the universe. You know, it's like you said, Mike. Good.
Exactly.
Has to be that counteractive balance. Everyone knows, longtime listeners know, I'm a Star Wars freak, and George Lucas himself. I mean, the dark side and the light side, Mike. The Force. It has to have balance.
It does.
And even if there was unbalance in favor of the light side, that wouldn't be a good thing.
Right.
You know, so there has to be that straight, even balance. I totally get it. Yeah.
So okay, so we have demons on the downside, okay?
Yeah.
And there has to be an opposite on the good side. So we talk about angels, beings of light, everything. You know, that's the balance between the demons and the angels. But it incorporates so much more than just the angels and just the demons. You know, it's just part of that balance.
So, Mike, let's kind of talk a little bit about what we're going to title this episode. You know, Demons Among Us. And I wrote down on my professional notes here. I got to do this. Professional notes, ladies and gentlemen. Professional notes.
Boy, he has music for that one.
I did. My professional notes, I wrote down, underneath demons among us. Do demons walk the earth, Mike? With
Yes.
multiple question marks.
Sometimes they might kind of float around.
Well, sure. So we've talked about, aliens among us, the idea of, visitors from, extraterrestrial visitors, have they actually been residing, living, reproducing, breeding with us for millennia,
Yes.
How about that same concept with demonic entities, Mike? Are they among us? Do they interact with us? I'm sure you can guess where my mind is going. I'm thinking about serial killers. I'm thinking about people
Exactly.
who we've argued back and forth about the possibility of them being truly demonic, truly possibly possessed. Ted Bundy comes to mind. The entity. He referred to the entity himself that he would feel coming on, the urge to kill, would build and build and build until he couldn't fight it anymore. Again, those were
Right.
just his words, potentially just an excuse. But still, what if it was real? What if he was a possessed human? Mike, do demons walk among us?
And think of, okay, so how do these people become possessed? These people that have, like you said, the serial killers, the people that are just, repeat offenders of some of the most heinous crimes and getting away with it. What brings them to that? If it's a demonic possession, I believe that they have to be broken down to a certain level that where they're susceptible to this, where like they have say extremely bad feelings about themselves, their self-worth, their self-being, self-hatred, maybe maybe mental illness. I don't want to really say that as a part of that, but
I get you though. I mean, you were talking about this earlier before we started recording, and it's something you have to consider. I mean, if you're open-minded to a lot of things, such as the bizarre notion of demonic possession, who's to say that demonic possession doesn't drive someone to kill themselves?
Right.
Kill themselves. Again, we're not suggesting that, but
exactly.
What if?
Yeah, like what I'm saying, how I'm saying that is, demons. Maybe they hunt that out. They seek that. They've got that radar where, okay, this person is ripe for possession.
They seek out the vulnerable.
You're right, exactly. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
I mean, that's just like the animal hunters themselves, but animals, I'm not saying that they're evil, but the lion, the tiger, any predator, they usually quite a bit seek out the young, the babies. I'm thinking about, like a pack of female lions taking down a calf elephant, and they're not going to mess with the giant mother. Damn well not messing with the bull.
Yeah, exactly.
They seek out the meek, the vulnerable, and
the weak and the vulnerable.
Yeah. But again, that's animalistic nature, isn't? Is it not just instinctive? I mean, it's part of their survival. That's how they live.
Well, yeah, they don't have grocery stores they can go to.
They don't? What?
They don't have grocery stores they can go to.
No kidding. They don't? You're kidding me, Mike. Wow. There's no Sahara gas stations out there. There's nothing, that they can stop by and peddle their goods.
Let's go to the loafing jug by the watering hole.
Oh, the damn loafing jug. There's a loafing jug somewhere out there.
They have them in Fargo. The first time I saw a loafing jug gas station called loafing jug, I thought, poop and boobs. That's all I thought. Oh, my idiotic mind.
Well,
but then I thought, okay, bread and milk.
There you go.
I got it. It took about 3 years, but I got it.
You know what the worst gas station name in the history of gas stations is?
What?
The Come and Go. spelled.
There was one in Fargo too, but it's
I won't say what
it's a long time ago.
and it's not COME. It's not spelled like that. And,
I know.
I don't get it.
It's like you wake up in the middle of the night and you grab your shoes and pants and you leave. I just don't. I'm sorry. That was too far.
Okay. Anyways, we're mature here on the Paranormal Zone.
No, we're not.
So,
but
Mike.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm walking over you again. I apologize.
Well, I was just going to say, about how easily a person can get possessed, and the whole Beetlejuice. I got demons running all through me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's
got epiphanies running through him.
Oh, absolutely. Not to put a name to any of what I'm talking about, but Zach.
I knew you were going to say that. I wish I would have jumped in.
He can get possessed every episode.
I know you'd think he'd get
but then he's fine before the episode ends.
But is he?
Did he get exercised or I had enough of Zach, I'm gone. What?
Aaron exercises him every episode.
Oh boy, I'd hate to see that.
Now, future guest Zach Bagans, do not listen to anything co-host up with the ghosts Mike Cardinal has to say about you, because it's an open invite, sir. We know you're listening.
Still is.
Yeah, damn well he's.
I think he'd get a kick out of it, wouldn't he? No, probably not. He'd probably punch the wall or something.
I
Rip his shirt off, flex his muscles, and punch a wall. No.
Well, yeah. Future guests. I'll just leave it at that. So, but it is humorous. We've talked about that thousands of times. Well, not thousands, but a damn lot of times about Mr. Zach and his ability to become possessed. It's almost like it's a natural talent or something, or almost as if he's inviting it. I don't know.
Yeah. I think they're after his money, is what I think.
And that's another thing. We talk about those being more susceptible to possession, more vulnerable to possession.
Right.
Can you invite possession? It seems to me like
absolutely.
Zach almost wants it to happen to him. If you buy into his spiel, into his shtick, into the show, and a lot of people don't, but millions of people do, I mean, is he kind of asking for it in a way? I don't know. What do you think?
Possibly. But then, like you talk about people asking for it or looking for it, like Satanists and things like that. And I'm not putting anything against Satanists or
no,
anything like that.
The term, the name, makes it sound so much worse than.
Oh, right. And there's rituals and they purposely, try to bring up these things, which is fine for them. I mean, just have a case of beer before they get there. They'll be fine.
You heard it here first, folks. Paranormal Zone. Advice from Mike. Just have a case of beer. From the teetotaler himself. Guy who hasn't had a drop in how long now? Yeah.
It's been a year last November.
Yeah, the last time we were at the Sally House.
That's the last alcohol I've had.
Maybe you'll have to have a celebratory, like non-alcoholic beer when we get there or something.
Yeah, that would be good.
Or not.
Yeah, that would be good. But do we, as what we do, you and I, on even just the level that we do, the hunting, the ghost hunting, the investigating, are we opening ourselves to that? I mean, we've thought about that before.
There's a lot of ghost, quote unquote, experts out there, ghost hunting, paranormal investigators who believe that every time you do investigate, you are susceptible. Depends on your techniques, depends on your attitudes, I guess. I don't really know if you and I have put ourselves in a vulnerable situation. I really don't.
I think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think the closest you got to being vulnerable is when you put your hand in that gopher hole to get the ghost ball. I think I was afraid you were going to get bit or something.
Yeah, no, it was a little intimidating. Yeah, my teeny tiny, as Mike called them, teeny tiny baby hands, reaching down in there to save his glowing balls.
I felt like the three of us were just standing there, circling this gopher hole, watching this glowing flash down there, wondering, Who's got the smallest
Who's
hands?
got the smallest hands? Yeah.
And then Steve and I look at Patrick. Well, Patrick.
Yeah. Yep. They don't call
We
me.
didn't have to draw straws on that one.
They don't call me Gopher Boy for nothing, right?
But you
Hey, I saved your balls. Okay,
saved it. Yes.
That's the other thing that when we're there at the Sally House, we need to keep a better eye on said ghost balls too.
Exactly.
Because we had them all set up on the steps. We had them in areas we thought maybe there'd be a better chance of some sort of vibration occurring. That might set something up. But we never had a really chance to sit down and watch them.
Well, we'd put them on the stairs and we'd go sit in the damn living room. It's like,
I wonder if those things are flashing
we'd go
or not.
check them like every 10 or 15 minutes.
Oh shucks, we missed them again.
Doesn't work that way. They only stay flashing for so long.
It's kind of like that Looney Tunes ghost or Looney Tunes episode where that dude thought he had that singing frog, and the frog would would literally dress up in the tux and he'd be like, "Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey."
Yeah.
But then when they put it on
doing
show,
an L. Jolson impression.
and then when he put him on stage, though, he was literally just a frog.
Yep.
just ribbit. That was us with the ghost balls. Every time we walked away, the ghost balls started their own song and dance, and we didn't have any idea.
Yeah, and before we got to the stairs, they quit. But anyway, and people that see it like shadow people. I mean, and a lot is talked about them as
Demonic.
being so frightening and demonic. And I have seen shadow people, but I've never felt that anything evil or anything. So I don't know.
So before we move on to the bits, we've got some cool stuff lined up for you. Again, Mike, right now at this moment, are there demonic entities walking on this earth? Yes or no, and why?
Yes.
Okay, so you've come around that far.
I say yay.
So do you? Oh man, I mean, we won't go too deep in this because we could go on forever before we even got to.
We're on the same page, Patrick.
We're on the same page.
Because of the
do you think of them
Catholic
as?
thing.
Do you think of them as being separate entities or merely inhabiting, possessing, so to speak, like the human form? The human form is their capsule, their vessel, or are they out on their own? Are there demons right now that we can't see that are around us?
Why not? I mean,
I don't like that. I don't like that idea, but that's okay. I get it. It creeps me out. But
like the Conjuring House and things like that. The movie version of it anyway.
So you're thinking
Exorcist.
again. So you're thinking again that some, not all obviously, but some infamous hauntings are in fact not really necessarily, the passed on spirit of an asshole in real life. You think it's totally demonic in nature, potentially.
Possibly, potentially. See, that's what, if it is, you need to figure that out pretty darn quick so you know how to handle it.
So let's say
who you need to bring in.
Let's say you're in a crowded subway in New York, okay? And you're trying to hop on, the old, you're trying to make a trip from work to home, right? And you're just surrounded by hundreds of people.
And then Gary Busey shows up.
Damn, Gary Busey again. Those teeth of his.
We need to have him on the show. He's a very spiritual man.
He's something. I'll say that.
Oh, he is something. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So, out of you're standing in a group of 100 people at a New York subway. What are the chances that one of them looks at you 50 feet away, Mike, and all of a sudden those eyes glow red? I mean, is that? I know it's a cheesy description. Do you think that they're taking human form and they're just looking for victims, demons? They are out there at all times. Doesn't matter on the locale. Doesn't matter on the geography. Doesn't matter on any number of factors.
Our entire planet, our entire being, is that circle of life. Everything that is existing in our universe is part of the circle of life of everything. So they're going to be there. They're going to be anywhere. Each culture has their own definition and of a demon and the what they look like, what they're portrayed as looking like. Every culture does. It's everywhere.
For good reason. For good reason.
And there are maybe demons that are in different forms that come in different forms. Maybe they're shape-shifting demons that can take on whatever shape, whatever human, doppelganger. It could be, whoa, is that demonic?
That's a creepy thought, Mike.
I'm getting kind of deep here. I better stop drinking my pink lemonade.
No, you keep drinking that. You keep taking that pink imbibement right there. You do that. You do it.
I love pink lemonade. Yeah, I like it a lot. It's tasty and tart.
Oh my God, don't ever speak like that again. Wow. I wish you guys could have seen his face he was making when he said that.
Should have took a screenshot.
Tasty and tart.
It's a tasting tart. It makes my testicles shrivel up a little bit.
Okay, too far.
All right.
See, I blame.
I thought this was a Patreon episode. I thought I could go further. Never mind.
No. Wait, no. Yeah, way to sell the Patreon episodes.
Yeah. Listen to Mike's testicles shrivel
for $1 a month. Oh man.
Well, I wish we could make it a quarter, and then we'd probably have more Patreons. Who knows?
Well, gosh, Mike. Oh my gosh, this is such a. I love this flipping topic, and we'll keep going back and forth to it as we hit these bits and stuff as well. But it's time to take a time traveling excursion, my friend.
Absolutely, my pink lemonade is down to the bottom of my glass.
Anyways, boys and girls,
yeah.
It's time to take a time traveling. That was redundant. It is finally time for a time. That's another redundant one. I'm going to cut the whole goddamn thing out.
Stop talking. We're going to take a time traveling trip, and we'll be right back. It'll be seamless.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Mike, we have returned from yet another successful time traveling excursion. We've talked about this before. We should really start sharing some of our conversations we have when we're not recording. We should I should always have the record button on. I always jokingly say that to guests that we are lucky enough to have on the show. I said, I'm recording right now, just so you know. You never know when you're going to get, podcast gold or whatever, however you put it.
That's what you say.
But man, we should do that when we're just bantering in between takes, because you and I just had a great discussion and it was kind of cool. I mean, I think it would be interesting for listeners.
Sure it would.
But maybe not.
To some.
Mike was talking about his epiphanies that he has developed. That damn rash again. He was talking about that. So.
I have an ointment.
He has an. I don't know why that made me laugh. The ointment. What a word.
Yeah. Or could you have an anointment?
Anoint? You were anointed with an ointment.
Yes. But yeah, it's good. It's very good.
Well, Mike, it's time for bits.
I'm not talking chocolate chip bits or caramel bits or butterscotch bits that you put in cookies either.
No, we're talking about bits. We're talking about segments. We're talking about entertainment to the highest degree, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, friends of all ages.
Just for one shiny dime, you can have this. Never mind.
So, if you couldn't tell, I haven't found time to create intro music for said bits. Not yet.
Yeah.
Don't worry. They're coming. And if you are worried about them coming, don't worry. They will be short. So it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yeah, I mentioned earlier to Mike, I don't know, were we recording when I said that? When I was looking into recording a brief segment from some of our episodes that are on the archives now. Every one of our old-ass episodes ever recorded before we turned into the Paranormal Zone, they're all available on Patreon in the archive segment or session or whatever the hell you want to call it. Tier, any number of names.
I would be embarrassed and scared to go back to the early ones. Oh,
man, Mike, I randomly clicked one and I fast forwarded to 15 minutes. I was just, I wonder where this is at. Might have been further along than that. And it got along to that segment where you were asking me, did we say this on air already or was it off air? I think it was on air, so I'm probably repeating
One way or another.
But I found that Gary Busey thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, where you read me quotes from some mystery man, and I jokingly said, that sounds like Gary Busey, and it ended up
Yep.
being Gary Busey.
Yeah.
So, but listening to those things, Mike, I didn't record a blast from the past yet, or whatever the hell we're going to call, because like you just said, me personally, I am so self-conscious on how I sound and how I sounded. It's going to be difficult to find stuff, but I promise. We'll be sharing some past blasts, some segments. I think they'll be hilarious to listen
Well,
to. So,
and if you want to hear me extremely drunk sometimes.
Well, no, you keep saying that, but it was like once or twice way back in like 2014, like the first and second time you were on the show. You were a wee bit on the happy side, but it sounded okay. It was a great, fun chat.
The show that you and I and Mr. Show did, I sure didn't sound.
But that was on
good
Patreon,
that
though. That was Patreon.
Wow, thank God for that. And we don't have any listeners on that. No, I'm just
Anyways,
kidding.
Mike, it's time for bits. It's time for that.
Bits.
Yeah, that shit bits. Well, no. Dang it. I tried to go the whole episode without swearing, and I failed miserably.
Oh, yeah. I failed early on, I think, didn't I? But anyway, go ahead.
Well, we're returning to Ghost Gab to start this off, Mike. Ghost Gab, we're just talking about any number of things, any rambling, some paranormal questions, paranormal thoughts, hypotheticals, any number of things. There's a particular question that popped into my brain. It's not even a question, really, but a phenomena, a paranormal phenomena that kind of fits into our topic for this evening.
And do you need my opinion on this thing?
Well, I'm going to throw it out
thoughts?
there. Yeah, I'm going to throw it out there, and we're going to talk about it.
We're going to throw it out there and see where it sticks.
Ghost Gab, March 9th. All I wrote down, Mike, on my professional notes was the word scratches. You know
Scratches.
where I'm going?
Now we're talking about that itch again, and I
that
don't.
damn itch. Mike, you got to get that ointment for the epiphanies. It's something it's going to get worse if you don't fix it.
I got to scratch it. It itchy. But anyway, yes. Are you talking about ghostly scratches? that appear on?
Ghostly scratches.
Yeah, there's a lot that could be said about it.
That we joke, it seems to appear on Zach Bagan's muscular chest and back every episode.
Yeah, as much as he gets possessed.
Or every other episode, I should say. But as you know, I have always personally bought into that possibility. Sometimes it seems a little much. Like, how easy could someone just off camera quickly go scratch themselves and then say, "Hey guys, I got this hot sensation on my ribs."
It's burning.
Yeah, I mean, it could be so easy. I mean, I've had my doubts about it, but it really changed for the better, in my opinion, when my sister-in-law, Mr. Show, Joe's wife, who I would trust with my life, wonderful, wonderful human being, a beautiful soul. I trust her with everything. I've seen pictures.
You showed them to me.
I've showed you those pictures. They're on Patreon.
Yes.
Her experience at the potentially haunted school where her and my brother work at, which I need to get back to, by the way. Scratches appeared on her back. She felt them. Something scratched her, Mike. The classic 3 scratch marks down her back. Deep red marks.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on there? I mean, let's just kind of banter back and forth, Mike. What's your vibe? What's your first initial thought when you think of and you see and you hear stories of people saying they got scratched by the unseen?
Well, the first thing I think of is being a little leery about, because a lot of times, right. A lot of times when on these shows that you watch it, I've got scratched, and I right away I think of, excuse me, I think of, could that person have reached back that far? And I look at the direction of the scratches sometimes, and sometimes it'll be like, kind of in the middle of the back, but straight towards the side, like somebody could have done that to themselves. Other times you see them where, wow, that would be a really tough thing to do yourself, where it's at. There have been things that I've seen where you're almost seeing the scratch appear as they're filming it. But is that just the scratch getting redder, more red?
Right, more inflamed, I guess.
Inflamed,
more irritated. Yeah.
After the scratch, sometimes you see slight drawed blood. Like I can't remember the names of people that last lived in the Sally house. He was so tormented, and he got scratches that drew blood.
Yes, and they were attacked. I mean, they were like pushed down the steps.
Yeah, thrown over the banister or something and into the other room or whatever.
I mean, it was pretty violent, according to
the room
them.
That one of us has to sleep in on our next venture there.
Yes, and we're going to.
We're
going to. So we have all these different viewpoints of the scratching phenomena. And I'm just using my sister-in-law's example because that's the one that means the most to me.
Well, it hits close to home.
It hits close to home. We know, you and I know the story of what supposedly is going on at that school occasionally.
I have to get there.
Her descriptions of events, and then just for the visual of those scratches, they were straight up and down, right in the middle of her back, slightly towards like her left shoulder blade, if I'm remembering correctly. But they're straight up and down. I mean, it would be hard to do that to yourself. It would be very, very difficult, unless you're like Elastic Man or whatever, and your arms can stretch that far. But it doesn't even matter because she's
one of the Fantastic Four.
Exactly.
Anyway.
But it doesn't even matter because I'm just telling you right now, she's not lying. She's not a liar.
Exactly. And I trust your word on that.
And I understand people out there who won't believe it because they'll say, well, how do we know? And I don't blame them.
Well, absolutely. It's
how do you believe something? I mean, you and I are skeptical. If someone said, trust me, my sister wouldn't lie, we'd say, well, how do we know? So
exactly.
I get it. I get that.
Yeah.
But from my point of view, it's inexplicable and it's kind of eerie. Well, not kind of, really eerie. Mike, what is causing this phenomena? Your thoughts? I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. And why? What is up? What is behind this paranormal scratching phenomena?
It's obviously supposed to be based on a ghost interacting, but is it doing it for attention to let a person know that they're there? Is it an attack of anger? It can go a lot of ways. I mean, but some of the scratches, like I said, can be so violent. I mean, it's got to mean something.
It doesn't seem like it's nice.
No, just not a good thing.
It doesn't seem like, hey, I want your attention here, so I'm going to draw blood.
Right, exactly. And plus the energy that it would take to do that.
Exactly.
It's got to be some strong, powerful thing going on there.
Is it potentially demonic to you?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, of course it can possibly be demonic.
Now, some would say that in order to do such a thing physically, it would have to have the strength of like a demon. It would have to be demonic in nature. It could not be done by a mere ghost haunting. What do you think about that? Could a ghost, what you and I believe to be a ghost, could a ghost be responsible for that? Or does it have to be something like a demonic energy?
I think a ghost can do it. If a ghost can
I do too. Yeah,
can bring up the energy or have the energy to throw something or to knock something down or whatever. Why couldn't it cause scratches? I mean,
right? No, I agree with you on that one. But again, the question is why. I mean,
right, and we don't know.
We do not know.
All we can do is speculate and theorize.
And now be honest, Mike. Now be, as you always are, but try and picture yourself, you and I, at the Sally house.
Mm-hmm.
You or I all of a sudden feel that hot scratching sensation like on our back. And we lift up the shirt and we see, oh my God, we have been scratched. How would you react? What would you be thinking?
I would be, first, it would well, my heart would be beating like crazy.
Right.
You know, my blood pressure would.
Don't
But
pass
anyway,
out. Please don't pass out.
Yeah, no, you have a heart attack and lay there.
No.
I will haunt the Sally house.
Mike will turn into Mike's house.
Yeah.
That's what it will be. Or will this? We've joked about this before. Well, Mike will become a permanent fixture of the house. He'll become a piece of furniture himself. But go on.
Yes.
Sorry.
But what were we talking about now? You totally.
How would you react?
Oh, how would I react? Yes,
Yeah.
I know. Well, it would probably terrify me, but I would be so excited at the same time that the question of it would not be a question to me in my mind ever again, because it physically happened to me.
Because you saw it or you experienced it.
Yeah, and I would know that I did not do it, and I would know that you did not do it.
Yeah.
So it would have to be something paranormal.
Can you imagine getting said thing? I mean, that would be. Would that be surefire proof to either you and I? Would that be, or do you think that I'd be capable of somehow explaining it off in some other manner, like, oh, well, maybe my sweater was on too tight?
Yes, in your shrunken little mind, you
shrunken little mind.
you would try to
Well, you said that. I pictured that guy in Beetlejuice with a tiny little head,
looking back and forth. But yeah.
So do you think that I'd be able to talk myself out of that?
I wouldn't let you talk yourself out of it.
Okay.
I mean, seriously. I mean,
I don't think I'd be able to, though, Mike. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, it's become a running joke that I try to talk myself out of every potential paranormal experience.
You have.
Yeah.
You and I have been through things that should have been just like a nail right between your eyes. I mean, just there it is. But hey, but if that's what it takes for you to
I know.
totally believe and have no question, no doubt in your mind, then go for it.
And I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope it wouldn't. I hope that wouldn't be required for me to go, holy crap, yep, that's 100% surefire proof right there. I don't think it would. I think I would be blown away by it. I'd be freaked out, like you said, but I'd be adrenalized at the same time, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you, Mike, my heart would be pounding. I'd be like, did we just experience this for real? Oh, my Lord.
And after that, I would hope that, and I would want to have the mindset to look to research and dig into every corner of that house.
Yeah.
And find, okay, what's next? What's next? Let's find it. I wouldn't sleep the rest of the night, probably. Or try and get that little couple hours in.
Oh, man.
What if you're at the top of the stairs by the Sally room? You feel hands on your back trying to push you down the stairs. And I'm already downstairs in the living room.
That would be terrifying.
Yeah, that would be terrifying.
That would be terrifying. And potentially dangerous.
Oh, and the ghost balls would be lighting up like crazy.
much
Patrick
to our
bouncing
dismay.
down the stairs. Thump, 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 thump.
And Mike is just thrilled to be getting this on camera. He doesn't care about my health. He's just filming the ghost balls reacting.
He lands at the bottom of the stairs and he looks like what is it on Family Guy every time Peter Griffin gets.
Oh, jeez. Sure. Okay.
It's like there's one leg bent and one arm bent out and another arm that's underneath him or something like that. He's all broken up.
Yep. I'm just like, Michael, help me. And you step over me and you're just running up the stairs. Well, running as fast as you
Your
can.
femur is sticking through your flesh, broken in shards.
Suck it up, boy, or capturing evidence. Okay.
It's time to go down to the basement, Patrick. Let's go.
Oh, man, I can't wait. I'm getting more and more excited the more we're talking about it.
I know.
And you know what, Mike? It's going to be a blast. We're going to do so much better than we did before as far as being investigators.
Yes.
But, in all honesty, dude, I'm looking forward to the road trip again. I mean, we have...
absolutely. That was fantastic.
We have good times just driving,
absolutely.
for the 8 or the 9 hour drive, whatever it was, 10 hours or something. And
but I want some good Kansas barbecue this time.
Yeah, we got to get some good food because that was a huge mistake. That was a big mistake. Not in all sincerity, that cost us hours of time at
Yeah.
the Sally house because we couldn't figure out where the hell to stop to eat on the way there. So we settled for
Yep.
flipping McDonald's.
Yeah, and then I suffered the rest of the night, as
And you
the
did.
listeners know.
You did. You did.
But anyway,
We're not going to do that again.
we got to leave earlier, get there earlier.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, because that there's more places in that town that's haunted that I would at least like to drive by and look at.
And in the summertime, I know it sounds silly. The summertime, there's going to be more daylight hours. Obviously, that was
Absolutely.
sincerely affecting our search for supper because we
Yeah.
weren't familiar with Atchison, but it was a downpour when we were driving into Atchison looking for a place to stop to eat. It was difficult to figure out where the hell we were. It was downpouring, and
Yes.
every
yes.
restaurant was packed beyond belief.
Yeah.
So
Drive through McDonald's, which had a lot of cars in it. And when we speak of Atchison, we do mean the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe.
okay, thank you.
Yes. Anyway,
So
that's true. That's
I think Ghost Gab, we can wrap that up. But it's a phenomenon. The ghostly scratches, Mike. It would freak the hell out of me, but it would also be talk about epiphanies, my friend.
right. We
Oh my goodness.
we would accept it and not wish for it, but if it happens, it'll be
Again. I'm being utterly redundant. I get it. But the word you jokingly talk about having the disease epiphanies, your horrible rash.
right.
But my God, what an enlightening moment. In all sincerity, that would be enlightening.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm getting kind of excited here. I'm getting a little over dramatic. I apologize.
Yeah. Stop.
I'll
You can
stop.
stop now.
Just like Mike.
Stop.
Just like Mike told me to
Shut up!
stop before our time traveling excursion. I did not edit all that out either. I'm leaving in my my mumbling
Might
and
as well.
bumbling. Yeah, it doesn't sound any better than I usually do, anyways.
Yeah. Well, I filled in for you.
All right, Mike. Time to work on our way towards the change in title from Monster Musings. It's now Dark Encounters. I told you earlier before we started talking about the format of the show. I love the idea of Monster Musings talking about strange, unexplained encounters with cryptid beings. You know, people don't know what the hell they came in contact with. We had a creepy story last week. That damn weird bipedal humanoid thing that the dude out in the boat thought he saw diving into the water, never resurfacing. Mike's looking at me blankly. I don't think he remembers that.
No, I'm listening intently. I don't remember it, but go ahead.
But I didn't want to limit it. I didn't want to limit this segment to just cryptid
Right.
encounters.
It would be very limiting, yeah.
So I wanted to include potential ghostly encounters as well. So hence
Yeah.
the new name, Dark Encounters.
Anything dark.
How incredibly creative was that name change, Mike? I go from Monster Musings, the alliteration, to Dark Encounters. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, again, Mike's staring at me blankly, but that's okay.
I'm just waiting for you to carry on.
Shut up. Okay, I will. This Dark Encounter, Mike, and let's talk about
Yes.
what potentially this person
Yes, I am listening.
experienced. It's a pretty cool site I found here where readers, listeners, what have you, they all submit stories. It's like a gigantic message board of all of these experiences they have had. And this is a brief little story, brief little experience. It is titled The Weeping Woman. And I
Intrigued.
shall share with you. Now envision yourself experiencing this while
Okay.
I'm sharing this, okay?
Okay.
So this is what Millie shared on this message board.
I had a great aunt Millie.
Oh, maybe it's her. Probably not.
She
Probably
died of
not
esophageal
because,
cancer. But anyway, go ahead.
according to Millie, this happened to her in 2022, so I don't think it's your aunt.
Oh, it wouldn't be. This was many years ago. But go ahead.
So Millie writes, she goes, this happened to me in 2022 when I was coming back from my office one day. Coming from my office one day. Merry
Okay.
month of May. Sorry. Hey, so you could go off on your ranting little singing tidbits with your booming radio voice, but the moment I do, you just shut me down?
No, I'm listening intently again.
Okay, fine. So Millie says it was July and the rain was pouring heavily. It was around 9 p.m. when she left her office, and she sat in her car and started to head home. So the short way to her office goes through a patch of woods, which always gave her, I'm kind of changing this around here so the listeners understand this, always gave her the creeps at night.
What wouldn't they understand?
No,
That's stupid.
I know they aren't, Mike. Oh my gosh, thank you very much for making me sound like an arrogant asshole. I appreciate it. No, because I didn't want to read it totally like I was saying this, like I was experiencing this. I'm changing a few words around because some of these,
okay.
Let's be frank. I'll be frank. You can still be Mike. I got to get that dumb joke in every episode. Some of these aren't written that well. Okay, is that
okay?
Am I allowed to say that? Can I change
Absolutely.
a few things around?
You're not changing the meaning or the story. You're changing just some grammatical
stuff. Okay,
stuff. Yes,
I wasn't saying it's making it easier for
go. Do it.
Our listeners are capable of understanding this.
Say it. Read it. Okay, I'm done. Go. God damn it.
I should say it. Come on. I should say it. You know where I'm going there?
Yes, you should say it.
Okay, fine. I apologize to all the listeners I insulted.
You didn't.
So it's currently 9 p.m. when she left her office. She sat in her car and started to drive home. So the short way to her office goes through the patch of woods, which always gave her the creeps at night. Now I'm going to change it to her point of view, okay? I'm changing it back to her. And she says, to add up to my horror, it was raining so heavily that I could barely see 3 feet in front of my car. Due to this, I had to move very slowly to avoid bumping into a tree. As I was going through the uneven road, I heard a sound as if someone, possibly a woman, was weeping loudly. I am saying loudly because all of my car windows were actually shut.
Well, with the rain, of course.
But still, I could hear her weep above the rain that was pattering on my car. The hair.
Maybe it was in her car.
Well, we shall see. The hair.
Anyway.
On the back of my head stood up. Back of her neck, maybe. Back of my neck stood up. I tried to find the source. I'm sorry. Just the hair in the back of her head. Doing nothing else. She tried to find the source of the voice, but I couldn't find it. Then I saw it. A figure amidst the mist and rain. I couldn't see a lot of details, but she was definitely a woman because I could see her long hair touching her shoulders. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a woman, but I get it.
Not that you could see her breasts through her wet dress.
Thank you for that very detailed description. Mike's in fantasy land right now.
No. Well, men's nipples show if they were wearing a t-shirt and it gets wet. It's just a thing. But go ahead.
No, you're right, Mike. Men's nipples do show through white t-shirts when their t-shirts are wet. Mm-hmm. Thank you for.
Or if they have the t-shirt cut out in a circle. And like Patrick probably did when he had his nipples pierced. Look at my nipples, they're pierced. Anyway, I'm ruining this whole bit that you're doing.
Damn it. Okay. Let me catch my breath for a second. Sorry. I'm just envisioning Mike in a wet t-shirt with the nipples cut out now. And no, that's not how.
Look what I can do.
That's not how I showed off my pierced nipple. Okay, I was way more subtle.
You would just lift your shirt up.
I would just lift my shirt up and say, "Look at me!"
Everybody would start throwing Mardi Gras beads at you.
Oh, more than that, man. Yeah, more.
Anyway, go ahead.
Tom Jones learned from me. I'm telling you that right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
So she could see her hair touching her shoulders. She was sitting on the road and just crying and crying and crying. I couldn't hold myself, and so I don't know what she meant by that. I couldn't hold myself, and so I yelled out to her. Oh, I wish so much that I had not. As soon as I spoke to her, she held her head up, and I swear she had neither eyes nor a nose. Only a mouth and a smile that was so wide, and this is her quote, that it made me shit my pants.
Literally?
I hope it wasn't literal, but maybe.
Right. Yeah. That would be like a very sardonic thing.
Oofta.
You know, like that.
That wide smile. She said she was
Yeah.
grinning at me wildly. I immediately rushed to my car door and got back in, but she rushed up to my car side's window. Again, I'm trying to read this window and started to knock. My eyes were burning with tears. I was so scared. My body froze when I saw a rock in her hand as she was about to break my window. Something inside me yelled, "Floor it!" And so I did.
Yeah.
As I started driving, I swear I heard her wailing and shouting back to me to come back. But I never looked back. Luckily, I made it home safe. And since then, I never took that short way through the roads ever again. Mike?
Good thing. That is crazy.
First and foremost, what pops into your brain as a possible explanation for that? And, I mean, I know all sorts of silly things are going to pop into both of our brains here, but we're talking paranormal. No eyes, no nose, wide, wild smile, wailing and screaming, and then it got physical and tried to smash her window. What the hell?
And yelled at her to come back when she left.
Yes, yelled at her to come
Oof.
back.
That's more than just a ghostly apparition.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
obviously there's
something going on there. That's
Yeah.
freaky beyond freaky. If
Yeah.
legit, that's freaky.
if legit, of course.
Are we
But I
talking like
like-
maybe
I-
some
I-
tragic event, like the residual energy of a tragedy that occurred on that road? But then again, like the interaction, the trying to break into the car or bust the windows, that doesn't sound residual.
No, it's not residual. It couldn't be, but then the fact that it didn't have eyes or a nose,
Yeah.
and just that wide smile that, to me, the way it was explained, seemed like it was a smile that was way too big for any human being's face.
Right. Yeah.
know,
Oh,
and so-
creepy.
So there's just something there that, do you want to use the word demonic? I don't know. Is it something,
Good.
some other type of paranormal ghostly figure that we don't even know of yet,
Oh,
except
man.
she experienced it? I don't know.
A first time thing.
I don't know.
I really don't know what vibe I'm getting from that because we hear a lot of haunted highway stories. We hear stories about people picking up, hitchhikers, and they turn out that they somehow learn of this person who was in their car actually died the week prior or something. We hear so many stories.
Then they disappear
Yeah.
out of your car.
Then they disappear. Mike, I was perusing, I think the old Talk of Tick the other day, which I hope that you create an account again because I need to share
Yes, I know.
so
I
many.
agree.
As weird and stupid as TikTok is, there is a lot of kind of unexplainable, entertaining paranormal stuff on there. I heard an interview with the late great Telly Savalas. And he was on some haunted celebrity story, 20, 30 years ago? I don't know how long ago he passed away. But he was sharing a story about what changed him from a non-believer to a believer. And it was fascinating. And he was dead serious, and it totally terrified him. But it was similar to what we're talking about, where he picked up, where a gentleman, his car broke down on the road. Telly Savalas' car broke down on the road. And some mystery gentleman helped him out and left him his number. Gave him a scratched phone number to call to give him thanks, or if he wanted to contact him later on for any number of reasons.
Then he gave him a lollipop and said, "Who loves you, baby?"
He did. How'd you know that? How'd you know that?
Anyway,
But I think the gist of it is, he wanted to contact the guy after helping him out because he really appreciated him. He drove him to a gas station, got him some gas. They drove him back until he was on his way. And he called the number that he gave to him. And he gave the name, the description of the guy. Long story short, the wife answered, should I say, the widow answered,
right.
got pissed as hell at Telly, said, "How dare you? This is sick. My husband died 2 years ago. What the hell are you talking about?" And the guy that she's talking about was the guy that Telly swears picked him up on the road. So, I mean, what happened? I don't know, but he believes it for sure.
Well, yeah, if that was a life-changing experience for him, I mean,
100% it was.
you have to give it some kind of credit
Yeah.
somehow.
And
somewhere.
and I'm not giving it 100% justice by any means.
Oh, sure.
He told the story in the only way that he could, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of details, but it's spooky, man. It's kind of spooky.
It is.
But as far as what was her name? I forgot already. Millie.
Oh yeah.
Whatever Millie experienced, I don't know. It doesn't sound pleasant. Roadside weeping woman that no eyes, no nose.
That almost sounds more like a banshee type figure.
Oh my gosh, good one. Good call.
Could be a succubus in some form.
Oh.
But it wouldn't have attacked the woman in that way.
Man, I don't
So
know.
it was a succubus, or would it be an incubus?
Don't both of those involve sleep? Or am I wrong?
Oh yeah, it's like coming to you in your sleep and sexually ravaging you and
damn,
leaving puddles of vile smelling fluids all over the place.
Okay, good. Moving on.
Black in color and flies flittering all over it.
Okay, Mike, you ready to wrap up the show with some puzzling paradox conversation?
Let's do it.
This is another news segment. I'm looking forward to this one because Mike and I love racking our brains around some of these wacky paradoxes. I love this stuff. I know you like it too, Mike.
Absolutely.
One that I picked out tonight. The one that I picked out tonight. It's a short and simple one, but let's talk about it, okay? It's time for Puzzling Paradox. Imagine music playing in the background. Have you ever heard of the bootstrap paradox, Mike?
No, I don't. I haven't.
We've discussed like the grandfather paradox on a...
right.
Was it the Patreon episode or was it the flagship? I don't
remember.
But that, I love that concept as well. This is not similar. It's totally separate. But it's another time traveling paradox. So I guess it is kind of similar a little bit. But we love talking time travel.
We do. I think we should do one again because my lemonade is working on me.
Oh, good. I'm happy for your pink lemonade.
Well, I got regular lemonade this time.
So I'll try and be as brief as I can here. It's a brief description. The bootstrap paradox, Mike, get your thinking cap on. As I said, is a time-traveling paradox that questions how something that is taken from the future and placed in the past could actually ever come into being in the first place. So the example they give is this. I'm just going to read it word for word here.
Okay.
Imagine that a time... Now, you have to put your thinking cap on. Listeners out there, too.
I got it.
Imagine...
my thinking scally is on.
Your thinking scally is tight, fitting, and cutting the blood circulation off from his scalp. And
pinching my brain. I'm going to pinch your head. Pinch. Anyway, go ahead.
Crush your head. I'm pinching your face. Crush your head.
Right.
Now imagine that a time traveler buys a copy of Hamlet from a bookstore, then travels back in time to Elizabethan London and hands the book to Shakespeare, who then copies it and claims it as his own work. Over the centuries that follow, Hamlet is reprinted and reprinted and reproduced and reproduced countless times, until finally a copy of it ends up back in the same original bookstore where the same time traveler finds it, the same time traveler buys it, and then takes it back to Shakespeare, who then, Mike, in fact, wrote Hamlet. The bootstrap. Mike's rubbing his forehead.
Anybody could have wrote it. I mean,
well, explain it then. Well, What do you mean by anybody could have written that? You have to go deeper than that. my
Well, if
friend.
Shakespeare didn't write it originally and he just copied it, we don't know. How can you know who wrote it?
That's your simple answer.
Well, it's all my simple mind will connect with. I mean, Joan Rivers could have went back in time and wrote it.
Joan
before.
Rivers.
Whoever can time travel. Ever watched Napoleon Dynamite? That movie?
Many years ago. Yes.
They had a time traveling machine.
I don't even remember that part. Really.
Oh yeah, they put the crystal in and they put this metal rod between their legs and they're sitting on it. And then when they turn it on, all it does is electrocute the guy. Anyway, go ahead. I love that movie.
I'm glad you could think so deeply about this by referring to Napoleon Dynamite, but that's okay. No, it's cool.
Tina, come and get your supper. Anyway, go ahead.
This bit will get better, boys and girls. I mean, we're not done. I mean,
I know, and I'm blotching it and messing it up so badly.
no, you're not. You're not messing it up by any means.
But anyway, I mean, what is your thoughts on that? Because
There has to be a first time writing it. Hamlet had to have been written that first time.
right.
The first time is generally accepted as written by Shakespeare.
Mhm.
That's how it is. It
Right.
had to have been written by Shakespeare before that time traveler ever came into existence. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Okay, so Shakespeare did.
Shakespeare wrote it, but this
Wrote it.
time traveler brings it back to Shakespeare, and Shakespeare likes it so much he copies it. So it's kind of like the Back to the Future thing where
Right.
Michael J. Fox, Marty's up there, he's playing a Chuck Berry song. Chuck Berry's cousin hears it, Marvin Berry, and he plays it over the phone to Chuck, and Chuck therefore rips off his own song by hearing Marty play it.
Got it.
That's how I'm interpreting this. So where the hell does it start? If you see, my brain hurts already. What do you guys think? What listeners tell us? Are we making it too complicated?
I think what happened is Biff went back in time, and it wasn't the sports book that he had. It was
Yeah, the sports book.
Anyway,
Was that? Do you need to prepare for these the next time we do the paradox segment? Do you want me to throw you the paradox to give you some time to think about it first?
oh, that would be awesome. How many more do you have? I got to ask you that.
Oh, we can find a new one every week.
No, how many you got right now?
I thought we were just going to do one. That was like we were going to get on-air meeting, on-air production meeting for all future paradox segments. I will send you the pre-chosen paradox, and we will both have time to think about it before we record.
That's a good idea. I
Instead of-
prepared because this whole thing, when you brought it up to me now, this paradox thing, all it was poop in my head. I could not get what you were saying.
So
I just thought, well, somebody had to write it, and anybody. Go ahead.
So how about for tonight? We will do more than one. Okay, maybe this here. I'll try and find.
Okay,
one
is it going to be long? Because I have to go to the bathroom.
No, none of these will be long. I promise. And we will wrap it up here very, very shortly. I'm just trying to find one. Okay, this one is called the liar paradox. I don't know if it's even a good one or not. We shall find out.
We'll find out
together. So it says here, the liar paradox. One of the more famous paradoxes. I've never heard of it. It's a very simple premise, but a very mind-boggling result. Here it is. It simply says, this sentence is false. Now, I think I've read this before now. It's sounding familiar. Now, think about that for a moment.
Okay.
Think about it for a moment. The simple paradox is this sentence. This sentence is false. If the statement is true, then then that means that the sentence is in fact false, as it claims. But that would mean that the sentence is false. If the sentence, quote, "this sentence is false," then that means it's true.
Wow.
But if it's true,
Oh, you're not done.
but if it's true that it's false, then you get the picture. It goes on and on and on and on and on.
I swear this is true. While you were reading that,
Did your brain
I
blow
had a
up?
very centralized pain in my head. And I am on too many different meds to really successfully
I'm sorry.
think. But okay, so you start off with your opinions on that, and then I'll maybe get a little more of an idea of what the hell you're saying.
Well, this one's new to me too. This is the first time I read it. It sounds
Okay.
I vaguely remember reading this a hell of a long time ago as well. This sentence is false. Picture those words in your head, Mike.
Okay.
This sentence is false. If that is a true statement, then it's false, right?
I got it. It just can go back and forth,
Yes.
infinity.
Exactly. So it kind of clicked in your brain there, didn't it?
Yeah, the pain went away, and I scooted a little bit of the other crap that you
Yeah.
were trying to say to the side, and I had room in my head to figure it out.
So it's like, you know what? And the other way, contrary to that, if the sentence, "this sentence is false," is actually false, then it means that it's true, obviously, because
Exactly.
it's a lie. The
Yeah,
sentences, then they
I
lie.
don't like this bit.
I
Are we gonna
like
do this?
this. I love
do this
this
every
bit.
week?
I love
Yeah,
this bit.
no, it'll be great when you'll send me the,
Okay.
you
So I will
And then
I'll send you
like a week ahead of time.
a week ahead of time. Okay.
No, just that day, earlier that day of our recording.
Sounds good to me. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it'll be great.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think of our segment-oriented podcasts these last 2 weeks? Because they're not stopping. This is what we're doing from now on. And
Yeah, and it's not going to be these constant segments.
no.
We're going to switch them up and have some different ones that might be enjoyable, and we'll pop back to another one, and then we'll pop back to this one, and
Well, even this one, the Puzzling Paradoxes, that's a new segment. Ghost Gab we did last week. Dark Encounters, aka Monster Musings, we did last week. But we have a bunch of ideas that we're going to dive into, and it's going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to it. I think
Yeah.
the Paranormal Zone has a new life. It's going to be a wee bit shorter as far as the flagship comes, starting next month. But again, we're going to be devoting a lot of time to the Patreon page, and we would love to see you guys there. A little
not like we're forcing you to. Boy, if you want to listen
No.
to us, like more than what you.
No. This is honestly
been.
for. We have several reasons we talk about this quite a bit, and it just makes sense for us. And we want to have content that is enjoyable. We want to on both the flagship and the Patreon, and we want more Patreon content out there for you guys.
Yeah, more available. And, because I feel, in my simple, too tight, scally mind, that we have floundered here and there.
Wasn't that like a 1960s blues song, "Too Tight Scally"?
Well,
Or no, that was "Long Tall Sally."
It was about a woman. That scally one was about a woman in a red dress. That
I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead. A lame joke on my part, but you were saying you probably forgot now.
I did.
Okay, it's time to wrap up the show. Mike, I think this went great. It was enjoyable.
Floundering. I was saying that I feel like we've been floundering a little bit. We haven't been doing the deep dives that we used to do on a topic and just dig in, research the hell out of it, and present the information that we have found in a fun way, in a way of learning something.
Oh, definitely a learning experience for sure. But you know what, Mike?
We've been too much off the cuff.
Which we enjoy, and I think we're fairly decent at that. Kind of an ad lib.
We are
show.
when it has to be done, but we don't want to be off the cuff so much that we're falling off the cliff,
right?
So to speak. So,
well, Mike, the Patreon page is going to be loaded with more and more awesome content.
Yes,
and
I keep telling Patrick we have got to do video.
Yeah, I know.
Our listeners say video. I know it's a pain in the butt to do because it takes so long, and I gotta punch too many buttons.
Okay, do you want to do it?
Hey,
do you want to do it? Do you want to post
my end?
them?
I have nothing to do it with.
Hey, you're more than welcome to post them on YouTube, buddy. You go right ahead.
But the listeners want it.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for it. Look I got my great new backdrop. I even got the skeleton hanging up.
I know. Mike just wants to do it so he can show off his collectible corner there. That's the only reason. He doesn't.
Well,
no, I'm kidding. No, and I agree. I tease. I kid.
They want to see you with
the thing is with
holes cutting your T-shirt.
And people don't want to hear us talk about this. We'll wrap it up here, but I can't say it enough. I want it to be good video content, and it's
absolutely
we want the visuals to be appealing, and we just don't want standard. Well, this is us on Zoom.
Exactly, and I totally agree with that. We want to have clips that we can show. We want to have video content that we can put on there that goes along with what we're talking about and what we're trying to put out. So I totally get it. I mean, and we need to have off-air production meetings to,
tell you what.
It's gonna need to work.
We'll wrap up this episode. Thanks, Mike. It's been a blast tonight. I think this has been a great episode. I had a great time. Tell you what, if we get, how low of a number should I put?
One.
If one. If we get, I don't know if I want to say
any number between 1 and 5.
Or should I say like reposts of the link of the episode, or no, or should it? Okay, here we go. If we receive over 10 requests, 10, that's all we're asking. 10 requests in some form of another for a new YouTube video episode next week, then we'll do it. Does that sound fair?
That sounds very fair.
I mean, that's simple enough. It's 10 people.
Yeah.
So I'm risking embarrassing the hell about ourselves right now if we don't even get to 10.
Hey, we do it every episode, so this will not be a new thing.
All right, listeners, if you made it this far and you want to see our beautiful faces on YouTube, send us a request. We get to 10. Next week, it'll be done. Fair?
Fair enough.
Awesome.
I like it.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Paranormal Zone. We'd love to see you on Patreon. No better way to support the podcast for as little as $1 a month. No obligations. You can sign up and enjoy tons and tons of exclusive, cool Paranormal Zone content. Mike, until next time, my friend, what do our podcast friends need to do?
Peace out.